me my pee bottle.
Warning, there will be spoilers for the Ahsoka Tano series episodes 1 and 2. If you haven't seen it yet, go back and watch it, then come back to the video, or proceed with extreme caution. Still here, little buddies? All right. I know we're only 2 episodes into the Ahsoka Tano series, but there seems to be something going on in the latest Star Wars series. Something not so obvious, something hidden, something connecting just about every one of the newest Star Wars series from every time span. I'm talking about every era. The Dawn of the Jedi era, the Old Republic, the High Republic, the Republic era, the one with the Clone Wars, the Imperial era, and the New Republic era. And I have talked about this in other videos that I made about other series, and that one thing that's connecting everything? The Zeffo. Yes, the same Zeffo from the Jedi Fallen Order series. Not another Zeffo. I don't know which Zeffo you are thinking of. I mean, there's only one Zeffo in the Star Wars universe. But you're probably thinking of the same Zeffo I was. The ones from Jedi Fallen Order. Or maybe you don't know who the Zeffo were. So, I'll start there. But before I get into it, a quick word from our channel's overlord. Sponsor. Me.
Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and give the video a big stupid thumbs up. It really does help get my message across the Star Wars fandom. If you subscribe and like the video, it will give you a sense of happiness and euphoria, unlike anything you've experienced. It'll make your family love you more, and your water will turn to beer. Yeah, beer. And the type of beer you get is up to the will of the Force. If you get O'Doul suddenly shooting out of your shower, not my fault. If you don't subscribe and like, I'm sure your family will still like you just fine, and water will be good enough. But it's better to be safe and subscribe anyway.
Beer. Actually, bourbon is my drink of choice, but I thought I'd start off with beer for you guys. Anyways, let's get into it. I know I said I'll connect this to the Ahsoka series, and I promise I will, so stick around and see where this goes. Okay, the Zeffo. The Zeffo were an ancient race of sentient beings. Not just any race of beings, they are actually the ones who discovered the Force tens of thousands of years prior to the events of the Ahsoka series, The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. Wait. I don't want to hear how much you hate the Book of Boba Fett. That isn't why we're here. The only reason I mention it is because it's in the same post-Imperial timeline as the Ahsoka Tano series. Where the hell was I? See what you made me do? Oh yeah, the Zeffo. The Zeffo discovered the Force and learned how to wield it. Life was pretty darn good for them for a while, but then a few of them learned the dark side of the Force and everything went to crap for their society. Fleeing their home world, the remaining good Zeffo flew far away and took refuge, leaving behind clues of their existence, leaving little tricks and puzzles to help would-be adventure seekers follow their path. But there is a caveat, a pretty big one. Yes, they left clues for us to follow in our quest as Cal Kestis in the Jedi Fallen Order series, but they also left traps with these clues. Traps that ensured only the strongest would succeed. Traps in the form of booby traps and sentinels. Sentinels that could shoot energy from between their boobies and put a hole the size of a hut in anyone unable to defend themselves. See? Booby traps. And yes, I know they were machines and didn't have boobies. It was funnier saying booby. Booby. Laugh at it. That's pretty much the story of the Zeffo. But how does this side story in Jedi Fallen Order connect to Ahsoka, the Bad Batch, and other Star Wars media? Well, it's glaringly obvious. Okay, now I'm going to do the rest of this unscripted. Yeah, I intended to do a script for all of it, but screw it. I'm not every other YouTube channel, and I don't try to emulate them. Not that they're bad, just they aren't me. But here goes anyway. The first clue to me that the Zeffo puzzles and sentinels weren't just plot devices to help you further your progress in the Jedi Fallen Order series was that there's an actual story to it. Yeah, duh. But at the time, we thought that the Jedi Fallen Order Zeffo was going to be just contained in that microcosm of the Jedi Fallen Order series. But then we get the Bad Batch, with the incident on Skara Null with the Heart of the Mountain, which was a puzzle you had to solve in order to retrieve the Heart of the Mountain, giant gem. But when the gem was removed from its resting place, it awoke the giant Zeffo-like beast, which shot energy from between its boobies and pretty much destroyed the entire planet. And in order to stop this machine from destroying their only way home, our heroes of Clone Force 99 had to figure out you had to put the gem back in to make the giant beast go back to sleep. Okay, so maybe there's more to the Zeffo than just a fun video game. Then we get to the Ahsoka series. The very opening scene, Ahsoka Tano is looking for the map to where Grand Admiral Thrawn is hiding. The culture in which she finds this map, it looks like it's thousands of years old or thousands of years gone. But there are puzzles that Ahsoka must go through in order to retrieve this map. And all over this place are Zeffo spheres, the same kind of spheres that are in the Jedi Fallen Order series as puzzles. And once the map is retrieved, we see it light up the sky, or light up the room at least, and shoot a beam to another galaxy, showing where Thrawn is hiding. Well, there's only one issue with this. How'd the map get there thousands of years ago if Thrawn only had disappeared maybe 5-6 years prior to this? Well, it's because that map isn't technically a map to Thrawn, but it will lead to Thrawn through ways of dun dun dun. Yes, this map shows where the Zeffo retreated to before their extinction. Now, I don't know if the Ahsoka Tano series is going to fully explore the Zeffo aspect of it, but this route is definitely where the Zeffo went off into hiding after their collapse of their society. And I'm about 99% certain of this. That's pretty high. How can I be so certain? Well, because the clues are right there, they're glaring and obvious. Okay, I won't say 99%. I'll say about 80% certain that's what's going on. And there's one other thing that's going to tie all of this together to help them find Thrawn, and that is the Purrgil. The Purrgil know hyperspace lanes. They know how to travel, possibly even between galaxies. And this route that's shown goes to the Zeffo, Grand Admiral Thrawn, may be a highly used route by the Purrgil. And now maybe this route isn't strictly a Zeffo route, but maybe the Zeffo followed the Purrgil to this other galaxy for safe hiding. And following the Purrgil may be one way to find Thrawn rather than having to use this map, which Morgan Elsbeth now controls. And we know the Purrgil are in it because we have seen them in some of the trailers. Kind of interesting. We also We also heard their majestic whale call when the map was opened by Morgan Elsbeth. Look, I don't know if this whole theory is going to actually come to fruition. It may not, and I'm okay with that. My expectation for the show is not this theory. This is just a theory, a thought, an idea, some kind of inkling I had while watching the show. I even yelled to my wife, "Oh my God, it's a Zeffo sphere." But we'll see. And I'm not going to say that the whole Zeffo story is going to play out in the Ahsoka series. It most likely will not. It's going to span over multimedia items, novels, comics, video games, we've already seen it in that, TV shows, and possibly a Mandalorian movie. And this is probably a huge stretch, but who's to say the Grisk didn't use this same Purrgil hyperspace lane to get to the Chiss Ascendancy. Now, before everybody goes screaming and yelling at me and throwing their pee bottles at me, I know they claim that this site that this map was on was of Night Sister origin. I get that. But the technology held within it was not Night Sister-esque. If you look at how their planet was on Dathomir, or their home was on Dathomir, there was not this technology, these kind of Zeffo fun traps and puzzles. Yeah, they just didn't have that. Actually, the Night Sisters were a little bit primitive when you think of the rest of the galaxy. But I'd like to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. Does this theory seem way off base? Am I going off the rocker here? I'd like to know. And what are your theories on the show? What could happen and your speculations? But don't let those speculations become expectations, because that can ruin your experience of the show. I'd like to hear from you. And before I go, another really quick word from our sponsor, me.
If you're new here or just haven't committed yet, hit that subscribe button, give the video a big ass thumbs up. Doing so helps my channel more than you know, and it'll give you a sense of calm and happiness unlike anything you've experienced in the Star Wars fandom. Warning, subscribing to this channel will not make your family love you more. Unless you experience that happiness mentioned, then your family will see a change in you and be more willing to let you collect Star Wars stuff. Subscribing will also not turn your water to beer, unless somehow this channel is the key ingredient to making your personal beer in your personal microbrewery. But maybe it will help due to the happiness factor. But just in case, subscribe anyway.
Yeah, don't make beer in your bathtub. That's probably a bad idea. I don't even know if you could. Anyways, this is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Thank you for watching, and remember, this is the way. And positivity in the Star Wars community can be the only way.